Alright, welcome everybody to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing for round number 10 of the Silver class. We are here at the Temple of Speed, the Italian Grand Prix for today. My name is Seafreeze, and I'm bringing you 18 drivers on the grid for a great Grand Prix. Sorry for the stream being up a little late. We had a complicated business, and hopefully my sidekick partner might be coming in, but I don't know if he's in the lobby, so we're kind of working that through qualifying. Although, I will, whilst all that's going to be happening in the background, hopefully you could come on in and do this commentary with me. But, let's look at the standings from last week. We had the German Grand Prix, and it was the guy all the way on the bottom that I got to scroll all the way down for. Blin. Oh, there he is. Blin, he's in the pits, but he won last week's German Grand Prix. Followed by Nelsie Baby, who's currently P2 in the Haas, as we have a yellow Sector 3 for something. Let me get myself situated here. Hold up. Let me get myself situated. Where's the map? Alright, there we go. Alright. So, Nelsie Baby P2 from last week, followed by Sir Charles in the Renault. And then it was Fire Flow in the McLaren, and KJB Black Angel in 5th, who also had pole position. He started on the softer tire, and at Germany, you really don't want to start on the softer tire due to all the tire wear and stuff like that. So he did end up dropping a little bit. Yeah. But as of right now, we have the Mercedes driver Arrow Fist Zen. I think his debut was last week. He was it was his debut last week. He was a reserve driver, and he was unable to qualify because of our reserve driver rules. But now he's in a full-time seat, I'm pretty sure, in a Mercedes, and he looks pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. 19.649 right now for the Mercedes driver. Let's see if we get some action on track. We'll follow up Fire Afloat. So yeah, so pretty good for him. Nelsie and P2. Acho also. Look at Acho. I actually didn't know this, but he's making his return tonight. I see. I think he raced a little bit last season, or the prior season, season 7, I think, and maybe the start of 8. And now he's back. So nice to see him up there in the Red Bull. Let's fire up. Braking pretty aggressively into a Scari. I don't remember what what the corner names here were, but I'm pretty sure I know them all, or at least most of the crucial ones. This is a pretty short track. As far up coming around Parabolica, and you want to keep that momentum high to the line. And oh, never mind, he's coming into the pits. So let's see if we get a guy on a thing here. Fire F1 is invalid. KGB might be on a lap. He's sitting P9 at the moment. Let's see if... Just give me 1 minute. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Alright. Also, a debut, I'm pretty sure as well, YBN, we'll call him Steven, I'm pretty sure that's how he goes by, in the nice blue Toro Rosso. So, he's already rubbing off on me pretty well. He looks good in there, you know, he looks good in the Toro Rosso. So he's sitting P10 as well. Let's see, he's starting his lap now, so we'll see by the end of it where he sits that Toro Rosso. Although, I will have to mention, looking down the grid, as we have another yellow sector, that's probably drivers just slowing down. Blin Machine is also in the pits. He's probably coming out for his last run. Probably his only run, because right now he's got no time. And I'm pretty sure he's allowed to qualify. I don't think he's got no... Oh, there he is. And there's Blin right there. He's coming out the pits. So he has to find a way not to invalidate this run, because we saw last week in Germany, I'm pretty sure we saw in the last few races, Blin, who's the championship leader. I will go through the results in a minute here. Let me see. Blin has not really been too much of a good qualifier. He's always been good in the race. He's been able to stay out of trouble. He's got good race pace and he's got good racecraft, and that's why you see him at the front of the grid. But as far as his qualifying, it has not been on par, maybe against some of his other competitors. So I guess it's putting a little bit more work on the champion driver, or at least the leader. We don't know if he's a championship yet, but we will find that out. We are in race number 10, the Italian Grand Prix today, out of 16 rounds. So we have about 6 races or so until we find that out. Alright, and KGB goes up and on pole position with a 19.2, sets it by 4/10 over the Mercedes driver. We have a lot of drivers on that outlaps right here. We have the top 2, 3, and 4. Acho starting his lap in the Red Bull, making his return as he goes into the first corner. Really tight chicane. Really got to slow it down, and really you got to worry about the exit, because that will carry the speed. That's kind of the theme here at Italy. You really need good traction out of the corners, which will set you good all the way down the straight. Sir Charles also on a lap. I think he's coming to the end of it. Let's see what the Renault driver will do coming into Parabolica towards the line. He keeps it clean. Let's see where it'll put him. And it's going to be P3 at 19.8. So not pole, but it does improve him, so that's good for him. F1 driver just started, or racer just started his lap. You got Death Wish Tricky. He's on his lap here, but it's invalidated. YBN Steven comes to the line. Only P10. I don't think he improved. You have a bunch of drivers here. F-Ball is coming into Ascari here. You got a lot of drivers. Even though they might not be in the way, it's still a distraction. And that's something you don't want on your run. But he finds it pretty well. Let's see if any of these guys can make a sneak peek, and up the grid they go. Let's see the McLaren driver to the line, and no, he's going in the pits. But we do see Blin. Let's see what the championship leader will do. P8. So he does move up out of the top, or the bottom 10 rather. He's up to 8th. Let's see, anyone else on laps? I think that is it. So that is qualifying here for the Italian Grand Prix. KGB Black Angel, like he started last week, will start on pole position. But is it where you want to start at Italy? I'm not too sure, because it's a pretty long stretch down to turn 1. And you really don't know if that'll be a pro or a con. But if it's me, I'd rather start in front. At least you have that to go for. Blin? No, he's not on lap. Everyone's finished here. Pretty sure everyone's finished. So the championship points, I'll go through that now. Nah, I lie. I'm going to go through the qualifying right now. We have KGB Black Angel on pole position by 0.4 of a second over the Mercedes driver of Arrow, followed by Sir Charles and Nelsie. Acho making his return, like I said. F1 Racer in P6, Fire Up in P7, Blin, the championship leader, in P8, Gold Raider, P9, Death Wish Tricky, rounds off the top 10. Steven in his debut, P11, F-Ball Ultimate, followed by Dorian, Ben Swerven, Sam, a Dolphin Chaser, and Turkey. Oh man, I love me some Turkey. So the championship standings, let me go through that now. Blin Machine is P1 in the standings. He's got himself 3 wins over the course of the season with 135 points. Followed by Nelsie Baby in the Haas, P2 with 93 points, but no wins, surprisingly. He's been pretty consistent. And then you have F1 Racer in P3 with 90 points, giving himself 2 wins. And then it's both the Renault drivers, 87 points for Sir Charles, no wins as well. And Dorian, 69 points in 5th with no wins as well. And then you have a couple winners here. Black Angel, he got himself his first win in Austria a few weeks back. He's got 66 points in P6. And then D-Swish, who I think for certain reasons he had to pull out of the season, who was I think he was Blin's teammate, so that's pretty upsetting. And then you have F-Ball and P8, Death Wish Tricky P9, and Fire Up P10. As far as the constructors, it's Toro Rosso leading with 191, followed by Renault 156, Haas with 147, McLaren 104, Mercedes 96, Racing Point 66 points, Alpha with 63, and then, like I said, you still have that big drop off from Alpha to Williams with 18 points, Red Bull with 4, and Ferrari still have no points. So that's upsetting to see the Ferraris in the back, especially in this day and age. But we will go through and do our little predictions here. If you are watching and you are not subscribed, please consider, after you watch the race today. Although, before we get going, I'd like to see and hear all your predictions. So, like I say every week, you have to put your predictions now, otherwise they don't count. Yeah, they simply don't count. Now, I know I give my predictions, and I always get them wrong. But I feel like I got them right this week. So this is what I'm going with. KGB, Black Angel, for the win. As I get myself situated. Let's see what we got going. We're going to turn that off. We're going to put this full. Awesome. Alright. So we're going to put KGB on the top step. I like Nelsie Baby in P2. He's finished P2 the last 3 races, so I might as well just put him there for a safe bet. And then somehow, some way, I think Blin will come up from P8 to finish P3. I think that's kind of been the rhythm this season, as Blin has always made up a lot of positions. Bam Bam, welcome. He says one of the Haas's, Sir Charles, KGB. So you think Haas is going to win? Alright. I'm with it. Sir Charles and KGB. A lot of people like Sir Charles and KGB. I'm not going to lie. But this is looking to be a pretty good race. There's not much strategy going on. It should be a pretty simple one-stop, although you do have Ben and Sam in the back starting on the mediums. So they're going to do the alternate strategy. But leave your predictions now, like I said, as we get ready for the race. Alright, so as the lights start to go out, 18 drivers for the Italian Grand Prix, the silver class, and away we go. Let's see the start. Torosov, I think that's Blin in the background, makes it 3 wide. KGB blocks to the inside, 3 wide going into the chicane. Nelsie Baby picks up P2 Arrow. Sir Charles and F1 go side by side, but Sir Charles is going to take the lead. We have a VSC already. Wow. Is that a bummer? Such an anticlimactic start to this race. KGB had such a great start going into it. He was able to defend going into turn 1. And then you had the 3 drivers behind, Nelsie, Arrow, and Sir Charles had to go 3 wide. But I'm looking at the wings. I don't think any of them have damage, so that's always a good sign. Keep everybody back in this race. So I think we're back green here on the back stretch going into Ascari. Nelsie gets a poor exit as the Arrow is right behind the Haas. Let's see how they go. And they're gonna go out here. Oh, let's see who we have in the back. Pretty jumbled up around here, around P10. You have F-Ball, Fire Up, goes into the gravel. He's got to watch how he comes back on track. We know what incident had happened there. Dolphin had to spin as well. Fire Up did not have the best of starts. Let's go back to the front as we see KGB, obviously, the fastest lap. And this is going to be a slipstream battle all day long today. and DRS as well, and you'll have a bunch of trains. But as long as you can stick with the other driver, you should have no problem, you know, sitting in the slipstream and the DRS of each other, saving fuel and saving battery is always a good thing. But DRS is not enabled yet, but the top 6 or so looking pretty strong. Blends at the end of that little pack there at the beginning. Then you have a little bit of a gap of a few drivers. You have Deathwish, Acho, and Steven. So come back up here. This is who I want to see. These top 6. As a Mercedes driver, I'm really interested to see how Arrow... Oh, who's out? Who's that? Oh, it's KGB. Oh man, it's KGB, loses it in Ascari. He's got all the wing, but he loses it. Zacho is going to take position, maybe not. They're close. As the race leader, the pole sitter, loses it. And I think we will see that time and time again coming through that tough triple chicane there. As there goes my pick. Like I said, I never get one right. Although you still have a long way to go. I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying it's a little harder. Sir Charles gets past Arrow. Nelsie is leading the Grand Prix. The Haas, like Bam Bam said, the Haas's are pretty good. As he has a good shot to win it today. Although it's kind of alarming seeing Mercedes up doing pretty well, and you have no Ferraris up at the front, especially in this home Grand Prix. I don't think there's well, you got the Haas's or Ferrari engine, but they're more American than anything. All right. So DRS is now enabled. Arrow sets the fastest second sector. As Sir Charles trying to break the slipstream. Let's see if Arrow will wait for the front stretch, or will he go for a move? I think he's going to wait. That'd be the smart decision. And he goes with the smarter decision, so that's good for him. Alright, let's see if he gets past the Renault. Should be a pretty easy move. These two got to work together because you don't want Nelsie to get too far ahead. And looks like the Mercedes driver will get up to P2. But they're slightly out of DRS from the leader. KGB also making moves with the Haas. So he's back up to P6. Or maybe he was defending, I don't know. Alright. Been swerving with the 3 second. Alright, let's see who else we gotta talk about. I want to give it a little, about almost everybody, a little bit of love today, so let's see how things are doing in the back here. Oh, Sam is out. Like he's gone. He's out. On Curva Grande it was, and we have a safety car on lap 5. So that'll bunch things back up. Give everybody a shot. As we have a couple guys in the pits, Steven, Deathwish, Ultimate Dorian. That's a dangerous release by the Haas team, but you know, they gotta do what they gotta do. Steven, he might have a penalty, but it's good to serve it now. So that'll be off his plate. He's also got a wing change, so that's a relatively long stop. He's gonna lose some time. He's gonna put the hards on. Red Bull driver Ben is also gonna get a new wing. Dolphin coming in as well. He had a mistake earlier on, so he'll catch up from this. So that's good for him. The Williams driver. Fire up as well, like we saw, had to cut Ascari into the gravel he will get caught up as well. He's sitting pretty much last, besides Sam, who obviously is out. Alright. So let's see if the front guys, I don't know if they had the opportunity to pit. I think the safety car came out a little bit after when they were able to. And looking at the chat, yes, it is that Toro Rosso driver on the comms again, unfortunately. Although I enjoy it to an extent. Sorry, there's no one else. You're just gonna hear me. So if you really don't like, I'm sorry, guys, but you know, you're stuck with me if you want to see how this race goes. As Nelsie Arrow, I'm assuming everyone's coming in if you're at the top. It's a really smart decision. Top 7, probably top 9 is gonna pit here. All the soft drivers. As the Mercedes, look at the Mercedes. They did not think that one through, did they? As Arrow gets priority, F1 Racer's going to have to wait for these guys to get the tires ready. They didn't have the tires ready, as now they have the tires. And that's a pretty long stop. As Dolphin retired, I don't know why, though. So we're down to 16. As F-Ball Racer is the leader of the Grand Prix, but he's still in the soft, so a questionable strategy from him. You have Nelsie. Let me see who stopped here. Let me be professional. You know what I mean? Only the one guy. F-Ball is the only guy that did not pit today. So quite questionable. I mean, we'll roll with it. You know, I don't know how much we'll roll to, or where we're going, but we'll see how this strategy works out, if it does at all. You have a couple drivers on. Look at Sir Charles in P4 softs. He put softs. He pitted. He's probably going for a 2-stop, which is also questionable. You have a couple guys on mediums and hard tires. So hard, you know, you're going to the end. Medium, I don't know what the pit window was. I'm pretty sure you could take it to the end on medium. So Nelsie and Deathwish, the two Haas's. These are the lead Ferrari guys here at the I wouldn't say their home Grand Prix, but I guess their engine Grand Prix home race kinda. But I think the Tifosi would rather have the Haas's than the McLaren or the Renault. So I don't know, would they? That's kind of a questionable. That's an interesting topic. Would the Tifosi like the Haas's on for 1-2, the Ferrari powered engine, or would they want like a more historic team that hasn't won in a while, the McLarens or the Renaults? That's actually kind of cool. I don't know. All right, so people are saying the mediums are not going to last. Although I think they will. I disagree. 20 laps should be fine on these things. Granted, we have a safety car. We probably will get another VSC. Probably another safety car. Track positions, everything here as well. Because it is, even though it's easy to pass, it's hard to get away from drivers. So it should be alright. Let's see who made up the most positions. And that's definitely F-Ball. Obviously, he didn't really pit yet, so you gotta factor that in. But Deathwish Tricky, the Haas is up a lot. Yeah, look at that. Good race from him so far. Knock on wood. I don't want the commentators curse him. I already did it to KGB today. So, speaking of which, he has lost 5 positions. Arrow as well. Acho losing some positions. And Steven's the only one who's dead even. Yeah, you need a comment by fastest lap. You gotta have that blistering pace to break away. That's sure right. You can't be average. You gotta be good. Because if you're just average, you're gonna get overtaken. Let's be real. I want to see what Turkey. Now this guy is the lead Ferrari. I don't know where his teammate is, but oh, we're getting going. What am I doing? As here we go. They pulled the trigger on me. The Haas going side by side into turn 1. Death Wish tricky. It's gonna slot back in P3. Any more collisions? Who's that? The Renault, the Mercedes. Couple cutters. Couple cookie cutters as Dorian. Had to cut the track. He reset as well, which is, I don't know. You shouldn't be doing that, but going through this. Let's see. Everyone's jockeying for position. KGB losing a lot in that exchange Golderator. The Alpha is looking to make some moves. Coming to the back stretch. DRS not enabled yet. You have KGB looking on the Alpha. He's got to make some positions up. But I don't think he's going to do it. Ultimate's going to have the preferred line. Oh, well. Whew, whew. Let's go up here. Let's go up here. Let's go to Acho. Let's go to Acho. Let's go to Sir Charles. Let's go up the grid here. Whew. No comment. No comment. Sir Charles and the Renault. It's close to making a move on. Oh, we have a move for the lead. It's Nilsey Baby will retain the lead. Quite an easy overtake, I would say. F-ball on those worn softs. Nilsey on the preferred tire. Renault and Haas making some action. That allows Blin as well. But oh, the Mercedes driver have a little. These guys are moving around. Oh, whoa, 3 wide. What was that nonsense? What are you guys doing? I mean, even to fit one car in there is, you know, I mean, you got to really take the right line. But 3? I mean, come on. As that involves Blin, the championship leader. I think he might have gotten some damage. As we have some yellows, I don't know. Let's see. What's going on back here? Who's in the... Oh, there he is. I was wondering where he was. He's playing hide and seek there for a little bit. And he's got no wing on the left side there. Oh, man. Yep, Blin's got a missing right part of the wing. DRS is now enabled. Let's see if the Toros driver will pit. I think he's gonna... Yep, he's gonna pit. So that's going to slow his campaign down. Wow. I mean, wow. I don't know what I've seen, but that's crazy. Man, I don't know what you guys was looking at, but I think I just barely caught it as well. I think these guys have their wings in contact. Let's see, Sir Charles here. Yeah, I think so. We'll see right here. Yep. The Renault and the Haas look good, and those are the 2 that went in. But the Toro Rosso driver, Blin, really suffered in that exchange. Man, I'd love to see who was in position where when it all started. But speaking of position, Sir Charles is trying to make a position up here on the McLaren driver. Fastest second sector, and you could know why. He's on those soft tires. He's probably got the freshest on the grid, and arrows out at Ascari, the exit. And you can see him on the left there. We had got a VSC. And you got to see F-ball's probably coming in. That'll work into his hands a little bit if he comes in. Yes, that's smart. Good for you. Renault of Sir Charles also comes as well. That's also good for him, but he only had 4 laps on those tires, so I don't know if it was actually beneficial. But as we get going, Nelsey, you gotta like that. He's got a 5-second, well, 3.7 second gap to second place, so that's really got to work in his favor. No one is really close to him. As we get back going, KGB's up as well, up to P3. So a lot of people pitted there in the VSC. It wasn't a full course, it was only the VSC. So This is P2 and P3. Currently, I like the position of Nelsie. I think he's got a pretty big gap. He's got the speed. And I think these two right here, they'll have to work together to catch the Haas. If they keep battling, I mean, you could kind of see the Haas. They're on the same straightaway. I mean, it's not a huge gap, but it's around 4 seconds now. But if you keep battling, it could go the other way. So the best thing for KGB to do is work with the Mercedes driver. So it's hard to do that because these guys are all competitive, but you gotta overtake the driver, slot back in line, and lose as least amount of time as possible. But I think that's what they're doing here. So they are working right now. They could slipstream off each other, save off each other until they get towards the front. And I want the gold and platinum drivers to notice this, because when you got the leader in front and you got a huge train behind, it's some things like this you have to do on tracks like this. So just keep it in mind for tomorrow and Thursday. Speaking of which, Golden Class tomorrow, 8:15 p.m. Eastern for the Italian Grand Prix is the Golden Class, and on Thursday, the Platinum Class, with a huge announcement also on Thursday, or it might be tomorrow, but a huge announcement coming for next season. So keep in mind, whoever's watching, keep in mind, huge announcement though, big business. And that's also 8:15 p.m. Eastern on Thursday for the Platinum Class for the Italian Grand Prix, as we have Sir Charles making a move on Ultimate. So he'll move up to P5. You have a small little group here. And the McLaren driver also gets past Ultimate, so Ultimate is losing positions on the harder tire. Death Wish decided to pit in that last VSC. That's kind of surprising. I guess he's on the better mediums that should last. He could probably go all out from now on, although certain drivers around him can also do the same. But Death Wish around Curva Grande will make the move. That's pretty nice on him. And Blinn Machine on the soft tire. We have another yellow. We got another yeller. That's Steven. In his debut. He looked good in the beginning, and a couple mistakes here and there, but you know, those could be butterflies. You never know. We all get nervous. It happens. It happens. But overall, it's a pretty good debut for the Toros driver. Dorian struggled a little bit. Oh, we gotta move. We gotta move. Acho up the inside. So Ultimate is really losing positions here. These drivers are all on better tires. Ultimate's going long game, but they could also go long game. They could all make it, besides Blinn, who is 8 seconds back on softs in 10th. So the top 9 is a pretty good gap. Actually, there's a huge gap from P3 to P4. And then you got these drivers around here. But these are all still solid points. But theoretically, the winner is going to come in the top 3. And I didn't look at the gap in quite a while, but KGB had the speed. And he closed that gap from 4 seconds, cut it in half and less then. He's up down to 1.8 as Gold Raider gets around. And the Haas driver gets around into Ascari. Nice move there. Oh, we got it. We got another yellow. Who's it? Who's it? Who is it? I think it's Dorian. Dorian's in the grass. Ah, oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Fastest lap said, is Lewis Hamilton racing for TCR Platinum next season? Nah, but if he would, I'd beat him. So, now the challenge out there. The challenge is out there. Maybe we could have it happen. Although Charles Leclerc is kind of good on the on these games, isn't he? Or I don't know if he's using medium traction like Hulkenberg, but I guess we don't know. Alright, so Renault driver is closed up on the back of Turkey. Although, to be honest, Turkey's got a nice strategy going. Although, look at how many drivers are behind them. There's about 3, 4, maybe 5 drivers who could potentially overtake them, and here's one of them. You probably got the 5 of them right there on the main stretch. He's got another move here. Acho moving on up. Moving on up in the world. Speaking of moving on up, KGB within the DRS of Nelsie, baby. And he's got a lot of DRS as well. I mean, DRS. Well, he might have that too now that he's under a second. He's got a lot of battery. He's got a lot of battery. And the Haas driver also has a lot of battery. As what happened, Turkey, I was just talking about you. I think he made a mistake. But I'm gonna focus on the lead here because this is what we come to see, isn't it? The who's the winner? Bam, 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 bam. Dre Diggy says, unless I win tomorrow. I hope you do win tomorrow, Dre. It was nice to see you win a couple weeks back, but it wasn't nice to see you get a 20-second steward penalty from from last week. So you got to behave out there on track, Trey. You got to behave, but I think you could do it. I think you could do it. So here we go. KGB's going to have to wait probably until the next straightaway. Nelsie goes wide. This is the battle for the lead. Nelsie baby, KGB comes very close to the back. The gearbox. F1 racer, he might have disconnected. Now he's back in it. That's good to see. You always like to see that. Oh, here we go. Yellow sector 3. It's Sacho made a little mistake. And Turkey's going to take advantage, as well as potentially Blin. But we got to go back. I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. No matter what, I'm staying on these guys. I'm not missing it. As KGB around Curva Grande. Does he do it? Oh, nice. Down the inside. And no, he's going to tuck back in. Oh, it looks like some clouds are in the air. Sorry, I had to say that. I feel like every commentator, every race, always hypes it up when you have no information. Looks like it's gonna rain, you know, the clouds are coming in, you never know. We might get some rain here, but KGB doesn't care about that. He's going for the win. He's going for the lead, and he just did that. He's up to P1, back to where he was. He does have that blistering speed, like was mentioned earlier. But now, we really see if he has that blistering speed to pull away from Nelsie. But you got to keep in mind, Nelsie is not wanting another P2. He wants a first place. He sees an 11-second gap behind him. He can fight this all out if he wanted to. Even if he made a mistake, he'd probably come, you know, little half spin here or there. You know, he could probably still come P2. If he finishes P2 today, it'll be the last 4 races, a whole month of second place finishes. Now, I'll take P2s. I'll take them. They're good. They're good points. They're good money. But when you're that close to that ultimate win, especially your first win, I don't think Nelsie's ever won yet. Especially your first win, that's gotta just want a little disappointment, you know, because I'm sure Nelsie's putting in the practice, as is KGB and the rest of these guys. But when the win does not come, it makes you think. But I don't think that's in the mind of Nelsie. I think he knows he's got the speed. I think he knows it. Nice helmet, by the way. That nice neon green. I like it. So we're going to watch these guys a little bit. I don't know about the penalty situation, so that could also dictate the race. But it's not too hard to get penalties here today. Although Ben, sorry, I have to call you out. I'm here to commentate, so I spit the facts here. So Ben, you know, I know you've had a lot, you know, of your fair share of penalties today, so it's sad to see. But somehow you're getting them, so... But it looks like KGB around that 8/10, 7/10 of a second. He's almost around that second, so... And he's out of the second, so Nelsie... Oh, now he's back in. So it's right on the edge. Right through there. I don't know where the detection point was in, but before the corner, so he might have gotten it. I don't know, let me see. Nope, that looks closed to me. Alright, so although now he's back in it, so he might have some good straight line speed, able to gain a little bit, but maybe in the corners, ultimately not. So we'll keep this on the back burner a little bit, as this is now over the second. We will come back as needed for the lead of this race. F1 racer, after a disconnection, is able to come back into P3. He's able to rejoin as well, so thankfully he didn't lose. He might have lost some time to the guys ahead, but at least he is still in P3, so that's good for him. Sir Charles in P4. Death Wish Tricky in P5. I think these two lost a few positions in the race, but ultimately a pretty good Grand Prix for them. F-Ball in P6. Solid run by him. Ultimate on those hard tires, making him work. But he's still in the points, so good for the Alpha. Acho making his return, a pretty good return as well. A mistake here and there, but ultimately still proving that he still knows what he's doing, I guess. So that's good for him. He's still within the points. He's at P8. A little rusty, perhaps, but I think he's got plenty of time to practice at this point with everything going on. So that's good news for him, I guess. Turkey and the Ferrari, the lead Ferrari, the sole Ferrari in P9. Coming down the straight. And the other Alpha in P10 Gold Raider. We've seen some pretty good speed out of him the last recent weeks, but for some reason, nothing got turned on this week. Maybe he got involved in some incidents or something like that. I don't know. But I think we saw some speed out of him last week, but in the last prior weeks, but nothing. It didn't click yet today. Perhaps, although he's right on the back of Turkey, he probably will get this position on the back stretch. As Dorian a 3-second, he's sitting P15. As this is gonna wait. I would have thought more people would crash right at that point. It's very easy to lose the car. I think we saw a few drivers lose it. Turkey going a little semi-aggressive defending. I like it. Oh, his Gold Raider almost hits the back of him. And he's going to come with DRS again. He's going to go down the inside. Oh, very close. I love that even though the positions for P9, that Turkey is still fighting for it, because that's an extra point you would have, and he's putting up a good fight. I like it. Whilst this battle goes on, I'll just finish out the grid. A little summary. Blin, the championship leader, starting within, I think, P8. Started this race, P9 maybe. Fallen outside of it. Got some wing damage earlier on, trying to go 3 wide in this next corner that we're going through with Sir Charles and Death Wish Tricky. So I don't know what was going on there, but there is a point in the stream where luckily I captured it, them going 3 wide into that corner. So he did get some damage, and the strategy didn't work out for him. He's sitting P11, 10 seconds back. It doesn't look like he's going to get points today. And his championship rivals, everyone in the standings, at least towards the top of the standings, is at the top of this race. So he's going to lose out heavy. He's going to lose out to KGB, Nelsie, F1 Racer, Sir Charles, even Death Wish. Those top 5 drivers are more towards the top of the championship. So not the most ideal race for Blin. Although he does have a little bit of a gap, so he does have a little bit of a cushion, but we will see how the points turn up after today's race. Ben Swervin, struggle, I would say, probably not on pace, but probably with penalties. He got a lot of them. I've seen his name a lot on the bottom left as he comes into the pits, maybe looking for a fastest lap. He wouldn't get the point, but he could take it away from somebody else, as you have to be in the top 10. Fire Up Flow takes the position. Couple mistakes as well from Fire Up, but let's see where he started. I'm not too sure. Yeah, he was within the top 10, so he did lose some stops. A couple 3 stops as well. That's kind of cool. Not the best day for the McLaren driver, but I like that he's still kicking around. Got the debut guy, Steven, in the Toros. He was actually kind of good for the first half of the race. I think he was involved in an incident, or he had to serve a penalty, lost some track position, and now he's himself P13. Dorian as well struggled today. Hate to see it, but it does happen time to time. Picked up some penalties, a couple incidents, as there's Acho, so he is getting lapped. So You hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it. And you got Arrow in his second race with us. Had some good speed, but ultimately did crash out, along with Dolphin, who I think tired on his own behalf, and Sam, who brought out the first safety car. So that's how the race sits so far. As we have another yellow. I don't know where that is, but crucially, what has happened with Nelsie? What has happened to Nelsie? Oh, he's got a puncture! The Haas driver's got a puncture. He has got a puncture. Take a picture, because you really rarely ever see that. Oh man, he's got to get out of the way for the Haas. The other Haas. Oh, he almost hits him. Oh, would have that... Well, would have that been great, huh? The two Haas's. Nelsie. Whew. Man. With 2 laps to go, he gets a puncture. That's probably why he lost so much time to Black Angel, but if you look at his laps, he had the same amount of laps on the tires as these top guys. So will a puncture come out for these guys? Granted, KGB should be cruising right now. He's got a 18-second gap. I don't know what his tires are looking like, but Nelsie also had the same amount of laps on the tires, so I don't know if he's just bad at tire wear and management. F1 Racer should be fine because he had a few laps under AI, so he's probably going at slower speed, so he should be fine. KGB in all facts should also be fine, but heck, I think if he even gets a puncture now, he might even be able to still win. He's got such a big gap. Probably not. Why is he swerving? Why is he swerving? What happened? What's going on? Don't tell me. Well, where's he going? No, he's got one. KGB. Where is he at? He's got a puncture. The race leader has got a puncture. Man, am I the king of commentators curse. That's it. It's gone. He has got the puncture. F1 Racer, where's he at? Oh man, forget about it. Forget about it. Oh, watch out, KGB. You gotta calm down. You're really not gonna win the race. You don't crash out though. You still have to get. You gotta hold on here somehow. You gotta hold on to P2 here. F1 Racer, you see the Mercedes driver. Oh man, is that a sight to see if you are F1 Racer? Go out and stick your hand out the window and give him a good wave, because the Mercedes driver has come to take position. And he, unless penalties can decide this race, will win the Italian Grand Prix. KGB P2. Sir Charles P3. Deathwish P4. P5 for F-Ball. Ultimate on those hard tires. P6. At least he can last that long. Acho in his return into P7. Gold Raider into P8. Oh, watch out. Here we go. And Nelsie, who did get the puncture. Does he set fastest lap here? Does not. P9. Steven on his debut. I think he'll get a point. So that's always nice to see. I think Blinn had crashed out as well with Turkey, so we had missed that. But man, that is crazy. The fact that I saw Nelsie get the puncture, then I'm like, alright, maybe he's just bad at tire wear, you know? But then, when I saw KGB Man, is that crazy. He probably would have been better off. Now, I'm not saying, those things happen. He probably would have been better off just going around 100. Nothing crazy. Because he had such a big gap. But, man, did F1 Racer steal one. Good for him, though. I mean, you got to capitalize, am I right? A win's a win. But if you're KGB, that's 2 weeks in a row at least. He's got pole position, and he has no win to prove it. He's got a half a second. He lost it by. They don't have penalties, so. Is that right? Or did he? Yeah, no, they don't have one. That's really close. Look at that. Got Sir Charles on P3, and the rest of the list is there. I really just went through it, so I'm gonna save my voice for a little bit. You can definitely do the soft to medium, but the thing was, they pitted so early due to the safety car, and that is why I think if you want to do the two-stop, which is done, you're allowed to do soft medium. It should be pretty straightforward soft to medium, but you got to pit around. I'm pretty sure lap 10, 11. I'm pretty sure. But these guys pitted, I don't know, pretty earlier. Although KGB really didn't lose. He just lost some points there for the win, but at least he got P2. Nelsie is one who really lost at that time. And I've had it where I lost a win on the last lap with a puncture. It sucks. It is terrible, but it's happened. You try it. You try these strategies, and you go for it. But all right. Even though I'm alone, I will try to get these guys in here because it was such a good ending. Well, not really, for if you're KGB, but you really wouldn't have expected that. So let me see if I get the top two at least. Let's see. Alright, give me one moment. I'll try to invite these guys for a short little interview. Alright, so we are waiting on the winner and runner-up. I'm only going to do the two today, based off of, I don't have a second guy that can help me out in that regard. But if anyone has any questions in the comments for these two, please leave them so I can ask them. So we have two of them. Alright, so we are here. I just want to see if your mic's going through. Hold up. Alright, so F1 Racer, I'm going to just need you to put your sharing settings on. Do you know how to do that? I think if you go to settings, and then it's sharing and broadcasts. And then once you hit sharing and broadcast, it's audio. Yep. And then go to where we are in the party, and go to settings. I think it's like audio or party settings, and then there's audio, and then there should be the same settings in the settings, but in the party settings there should be another 3 options. If you see that. Yep. Okay. Okay, let me just see. Say something, F1, but just want to make sure your audio's here.
You got me?
Do not. So just run through those two settings again. I'll start with KGB in the meantime. Just try to see if you can. There's settings in the party, and then there's also settings of your PlayStation. So there's two of them. And just make sure they're all clicked or checked. But we'll start with KGB. You were leading this race. You started on pole. Let's go all the way back. You started on pole, I think for the second week in a row. You had a little bit of an incident in Ascari. What happened in Ascari? Let's settle that. You just back end got loose.
Yeah, washed out. Their rear washed out.
All right.
Frustrated me, but I couldn't do nothing about it.
You had any wing damage through there, or were you good?
Somehow saved it.
Awesome. So that's kind of a good news, even though it's bad news.
Yeah.
And then we go through the race. What, you get your safety car.
Yep.
You catch back up. You get your right tires. You got the speed. You pass Nelsie. You start to pull away from Nelsie.
Yep.
Did you think you had it in the bag?
Yeah, I had it in the bag until I got that stupid puncture, dude. Oh.
What were your tire percents at towards the end there?
Before my left rear broke, it was at 76. I tried to manage it, but couldn't do anything better.
Alright, so Bam Bam Production had a question for you, KGB. He said, ask him with a 10-second lead if he thought he could have made it. Maybe, do you think if you had such a big gap, do you think you could have saved a little bit more?
I think I could have gotten the win, honestly. But I'm not gonna say that I did get the win when I didn't. But like, everything was going good. Everything was going good until that stupid puncture. But I'll take second place.
Okay, I mean, you really can't take first.
Yeah, I can.
Because you didn't win. I say it how it is, you know what I mean? You could think you win, but you didn't. I looked at the scoreboard. Nah, I'm just playing. But, yeah, so I guess you'll put in the practice and get back and do it next week, right?
It is what it is, but yeah, I'll come back next week.
It's really all you can do.
To get the win.
But at least you didn't lose as many positions as Nelsie did, as he lost a lot more positions. So, but yeah, next week we are at Azerbaijan in Baku. So that's pretty cool. All right, F1. Hopefully you figured that out. I'll just ask you anyway. I know you disconnected in the midpoint of that race. You came back. You still I think you were like 15 seconds back, or you were pretty far back. Did you have any clue that you would win the Italian Grand Prix?
Well, when my connection lost, all of a sudden I was leading the race, and that I set the fastest lap at 52 seconds. So I immediately left the party and started rejoining. And I had 2 extra invites, and I burned through the first one real quick, and it wouldn't let me join. I tried again, and it worked. And I figured, all that lost time, come back, and I'll be down E8, E9, 10, who knows? Because at the time, I think I was only, 3 or 4 seconds behind KGB. And once I got back in, I was just trying to manage the gap between me and Sir Charles to try to finish P3. And then 2 laps from the end, or whenever Nelsie had his puncture, I immediately began to think that my connection was going bad again. And so that started getting me worried. Do I need to leave and try to re-enter 2 laps left, or just ride it out and hopefully the AI at least gets me some points?
Right.
But I kept going, and then on the last lap, 2 corners left, I see KGB swerving all over the track. Figure it's happened again.
So,
But
oh,
at
so you
that
thought
point,
it was disconnection? Like these guys are lagging.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to concentrate when the only thing on your mind is, is my internet gonna give out again?
Right.
7 laps to the end, 5 laps to the end. That's the only thing you can think about. So it was tough to keep a gap to serve Charles. That was my goal, just to finish third at that point.
And then when you see KGB on the backstretch, you thought, oh man, is it my connection or whatnot? But when you crossed the line and you actually saw, hey, I won it.
Well, it took me going back and rewatching the live stream to make sure that that actually happened. And then once it did, I was like, all right, cool.
That's awesome.
So,
So it's a weird way to win, but I guess you take the wins any way you get them, right? So that's awesome.
I
There's
mean,
a little bit of luck, a
yeah,
little bit of fortune there, but you end up getting the win. So
yeah. I had my
congratulations.
bad share of luck with my internet going out. So, it is what it is.
It just
I
was.
didn't
It was
have the
meant to
choice
be
to
today,
win,
I think.
but
Maybe.
yep.
All right. Well, all right. Let me do my exit spiel. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you were not subscribed and you watched all the way through, somehow listening to me all the way through, please consider a subscribe. Like it if you enjoyed. Share it if you would like. That'd be appreciated. Everything would be appreciated. If you are considering joining TCR for any of the classes, the website is down below. Affiliation link for Fanatec, which I'm surprised I did not mention, is down below. All the information is down below. Social media is at eTrinity Racing. Thank you to F1 Racer and KGB for coming in here for the interviews. And we will see everyone tomorrow for the Italian Grand Prix for the Gold Class, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. And tune in Thursday for 8:15 p.m. Eastern for the Platinum Class Division. Next week we are in Azerbaijan. With that being said, thank you all and have a good night.